How about them Cowboys, baby? Micah Parsons, stud defensive player for the Dallas Cowboys, has requested a trade, and his relationship has soured with the Cowboys so much that he went on a spiel for 3 straight pages of notes talking about it. And this has came to the forefront because him and his agent have been trying to have talks with the Cowboys, and no progress is being made on getting a contract extension. Micah Parsons is one of those players that you have to extend, right? He's just one of those ones, right? He's the TJ Watts. He's the Myles Garretts. He's a top 5 defensive player in the league, right? And Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, from what we've seen, they have just continued to absolutely try and shaft their star players, all because of what? I don't even know at this point. Like, if you know you're going to pay them, just save the headache. You know what I mean? Like, this happened last year with CeeDee Lamb, where CeeDee Lamb was trying to get a new contract, and he ended up doing that, but it was just the whole entire spiel of it. Like, they just didn't want to pay him immediately. They just waited to, like, get the headlines all rattled up and everything. Now, this trade request comes with the little caveat. The Cowboys love attention, right? Jerry loves attention. Now, I don't think this is that, but it's damn close, okay? So, people are mocking trade comps with Micah Parsons now, talking about when Khalil Mack got traded from Oakland. Granted, Oakland is a way worse organization. Oakland is not the Dallas Cowboys, not even close. Micah Parsons is 36, who's only one of 2 players in the NFL to register a dozen-plus sacks in each of his first 4 seasons, along with Reggie White. He's one of them ones, and in my opinion, if I'm the GM, if I'm the owner, I'm extending this guy, no questions asked. Well, how much money does he want? Let's break the bank. But this is kind of like what the Cowboys got themselves into because they signed Dak to a $60 million deal, and then they signed CeeDee Lamb to over a $30 million deal, right? So I don't know if they have the money to be able to pay Micah Parsons. That may be true. That may not be true. But Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. Now let's read a little bit of his long and very winded message about the Dallas Cowboys and why he wanted to request a trade. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. My pops was cheering for this team. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my 3rd year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at this point. And see, that's the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. When you have these elite guys, and after his 3rd season, Micah Parsons was already one of the best defensive players in the league, top 5 already. And you just decide to just shut down negotiations immediately. From what he's saying, you just decide to shut it down immediately and not even give it a thought, right? Not even give him a look-see, right? But no, you just shut it down early. You didn't want to start negotiations at that point. Okay, fine. And he said he was okay with it and didn't complain and focus on the next season. After the season, he told his agent that to let the team know we're open to negotiate when they meet at the combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price will go up. That is a very smart agent. Whoever his agent is, yes, because the price did go up. It's $40 million now. It's not 30-something million. It's 40, right? Micah Parsons is one of them ones. He's the TJ Watt. He's the Myles Garrett. You pay that guy $40 million and you don't blink. But Micah Parsons is saying that he just wanted to be a Cowboy for life, right? And also, this message is covered by Micah saying, "Thank you, Dallas," right up here. What? I don't know if if this is a troll, this is a generational troll, and this video means nothing. But I think this video means something, right? This was before any other pass rusher's deal got done for that offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. So Micah Parsons being was okay with taking less money because he wanted to get the deal done and potentially wanted to get the headache out the way. So I guess he was okay with it. And from what he's saying, he met with the Joneses in March, and somehow the conversation turned into talking about the contract. He engaged back and forth what he wanted of the contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be formal negotiations. And I informed Mr. Jones afterwards my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. So Micah is alleging that the Dallas Cowboys are just going silent and just not saying what's really happening. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk, yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Cowboys are fucking stupid. Okay, they're so dumb. If this is 100% bulletproof true, Cowboys are the worst franchise in the NFL. I truly believe it because there's no way that this guy wants to get a deal done, was willing to leave money on the table, and you just decided, nah, we're not going to talk. What? Like, you could have saved so much money if you really wanted to sign this guy. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stay quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives I have made, a tough decision, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Wow. I mean, look, Micah Parsons is one of those players that you trade the house for. He's one of them players that you can get in and he overhauls your franchise. That's the player that he is. And if the Cowboys don't want to pay him that $40 million, I guarantee you there will be somebody out there who has a young QB, who has young prospects, who's good at developing talent, who are willing to take a chance on a guy who is already a top 5 defensive player in the league, hands down. Not even a question. So the fact that the Cowboys don't even want, it seems like, to get a deal done, just shows their ineptitude. Because you have a guy who wants to be here. You have a guy who is excited about being with your franchise. There are some guys who have been there before, and they've seen how the way the Cowboys are run. They've seen the way they haven't been winning anything, even though they have great rosters. And they've seen the stories and all the articles about how the Cowboys are run, how Jerry Jones is senile, right? Right, and the front office is just shaky. It's wacky, and they can never get over the hump. But you have a guy wanting to stay beside all that. You have a guy wanting to be there, right? This is the same thing with the Jets, with Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. These guys want to be there even though you have not had success. They want to be there. So the fact that they are just not going to even try and make a move is just insane. It's honestly insane. It's criminal. This is criminal. This is just a criminal felony, federal. This is every single charge under the book. Throw them under the jail. The fact that they are letting just Micah Parsons sit there without a contract, knowing he's a top 5 player on defense in the sport without a contract. and just letting him spew all this without putting a contract on his table. Shame on the Cowboys. Shame on Jerry Jones. Shame on Stephen Jones. Shame on that whole front office. They're deplorable. The fact that you did this last year with CeeDee Lamb, and then you did it the year before with Dak, right? You guys are just a special type of dumb, right? There's something, you're insane, right? Because thinking that, okay, it worked with Dak, it worked with CD, now it's just going to work with this guy. Micah's a different breed, apparently. He doesn't like that you guys are just playing with his money, respectfully. And you guys are trying to sneakily get a deal done and not really talk to his agent about it. So I think Micah Parsons is in the right here if everything he's saying is true, which I would be inclined to believe that he's saying everything truthfully. And I believe that some teams would die, literally, to have the chance of getting Micah Parsons. And the Cowboys have just opened up the floodgate for trade talks, for rumors, for jersey swaps, for trade finder analysis videos. They've opened up the doorway for that kind of attention. Now, granted, the Cowboys maybe like that attention. They haven't really done much this offseason, so maybe they like that attention. But Micah doesn't want to be there. If he doesn't want to be there, then is he going to hold out? Right? Is he going to get a contract extension? Was this all for naught? We will eventually see if that's all for naught. But as far as I'm concerned, Micah Parsons is out the door at this point. And, you know, some teams who are willing to take the chance on Micah Parsons, teams with young QBs and with a lot of money to spend. Teams with young QBs and a lot of money to spend, you do it, you make that trade, and you don't even think about it, right? If you know that your front office is good at developing talent, you don't even think about 2 or 3 first-round picks. You don't even, you just give it away. It's free. Here you go. Because you know what you're getting in return is elite level, top 3 level production at his position on defense, period. So I think Micah Parsons, you are 100% correct with requesting a trade from that awful franchise. And if I am teams with young QBs looking to bolster up that defense and kind of give them a spark or a new identity, I kind of threw out a name, and I don't know if it makes sense, but I was thinking like the Broncos or something of that nature, right? Like team with a young QB, team with some expendable cash, and, you know, maybe able to, you know, make a deep playoff run if they get him on defense, change the whole identity or whatever. But I don't know. I don't even know if the Broncos are like a realistic option. That's just a name I threw out there because they had a young QB. They got Bo Nix. But any team like that would be perfect. And you give up a couple first-round picks, and you know you're getting elite-level production. So, Micah Parsons, how about them Cowboys? Unfucking believable.